ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेव। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेव। Can make me post too. I want to share screen. I think there are one, two, three posts. Okay, yes, thank you.
Done it, Prabhu.
We'll sing one Vaishnava Geet by Bhakti Thakur, which is very relevant with the theme today. Hope all of you are able to see this. तुम्ही सर्व ईश्वरेश्वर व्रजेंद्र कुमार। तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर व्रजेंद्र कुमार। This is sung by Bhakti Thakur. Okay. तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर व्रजेंद्र कुमार। तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर व्रजेंद्र कुमार। तुम्हारा इच्छा ये विश्व सृजन संहार। तुम्हारा इच्छा ये विश्व सृजन संहार। भव इच्छा मतो पुरेण सृजना। भव इच्छा मतो विष्णु पुरेण फलान। भव इच्छा मतो ब्रह्मा पुरेण सृजनान। भव इच्छा मतो विष्णु पुरेण फलान। तव इच्छा माते शिव कोरेन संहार। तव इच्छा माते शिव कोरेन संहार। तव इच्छा माते माया सृजे कारगार। तव इच्छा माते माया सृजे कारगार। तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर व्रजेंद्र कुमार। तव इच्छा माते जीवे जन्म मरण। तव इच्छा माते जीवे जन्म मरण। समृद्धि निपटे दुःख सुख संघटन। समृद्धि निपटे दुःख सुख संघटन। तव इच्छा माते जीवे जन्म मरण। समृद्धि निपटे दुःख सुख संघटन। मीछे माया बद्ध जीव आशा पाश पीरे। मीछे माया बद्ध जीव आशा पाश पीरे। भव इच्छा बिना किच्छु कोरिते न पारे। भव इच्छा बिना किच्छु कोरिते न पारे। तुम्ही तो रखकार पालक हमारा। तुम्ही तो रखकार पालक हमारा। तुम्हारा चरण बिना आशा नाही हार। तुम्हारा चरण बिना आशा नाही हार। निज बल चेष्टा प्रति बरस चढ़िया। निज बल चेष्टा प्रति बरसा चढ़िया। तुम्हारा इच्छाए आछि निर्भर करिया। তোমার ইচ্ছায় আছে নির্ভর করিয়া। ভক্তি বিনোদতি কিঞ্চন। ভক্তি বিনোদতি দিন কিঞ্চন। তোমার ইচ্ছায় তার জীবন মরণ। তোমার ইচ্ছায় তার जीवन मरण। तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र कुमार। Tumi Sarveshwareshwara Brajendra Kumara. Tumi Sarveshwareshwara Brajendra Kumara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So devotees can read this translation one by one.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Please go ahead.
O youthful son of the king of Raja, you are the lord of all lords. According to your will, creation and destruction take place in the universe. Shall I continue?
Garipalli Prabhu, please read the second line. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Second one, according to your will, Lord Brahma creates, and according to your will, Lord Vishnu maintains.
Okay, next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. According to your will, Lord Shiva destroys, and according to your will, Maya constructs the prison house of this world.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, go ahead.
According to your will, the living beings take birth and die, and according to your will, they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness and sorrow.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
The tiny soul bound up by Maya vainly struggles in the fetters of wholesale desire. Without your sanction, he is unable to do anything.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You are only the protector and maintainer. Except for your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. No longer confident of my own strength and endeavor, I have become solely dependent on your will.
Yes. Thank you, Murari. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Bhakti Vinoda is most popular and his pride has been leveled. Now, in accordance with your will, he lives and dies.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, Sarveshwareshwara, Brajendra Kumara. So, we are going to see Ishavashamidam Sarvam. So, today's will be Mantra 1. Ishavashamidam Sarvam Yatkincham Jagatyam Jagat. Ishavashamidam Sarvam Yatkincham Jagatyam Jagat. Tena Taktena Bunjita Magrada Kashashviddanam. So, here Isha and this song Tumi Sarveshwareshwara, Sarva Ishwareshwara. So Lord Krishna is Sarva Ishwara Ishwara. He is the Lord of all Lords. Therefore, this Ishavashyam in the Upanishad, first mantra of Ishopanishad, which is a part of Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, Shukla Yajur Veda, for 39th chapter after Vajasana Samhita. Vajasana Samhita comes, then Brahmana, Aranyaka, then Upanishad. That is called the Isha Upanishad. So in that, the first mantra, it starts with Ishavashyam. So generally when it's referred to Krishna or Vishnu, they are known as Sarva Ishvara. Sarva Ishvara. But here this mantra only refers to Isha. So how come this Isha refers to Lord Vishnu? So Acharyas have written commentary. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam. When you speak of Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam, the master of even material world and spiritual world. Only when we speak about the material world, it refers to Lord Shiva. But Idam Sarvam refers to both material world, spiritual world, Om Purnamada Purnamidam. And such personalities like Brahma and Shiva, Madhvacharya quotes, they are not free controllers. They are not supreme controllers. He quotes from different Puranas, and they are not free from karma. And therefore, this Isha, which generally refers to Lord Shiva, in this case, it refers to, because it is Sarvam, Idam, it refers to Lord Vishnu, and therefore one should not misunderstand it to Lord Shiva. And therefore, in general, it is Sarveshwareshwara. But in Ishopanishad, it is Ishavasham Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatyam Jagat. Jagatyam matlab that which is destined to take birth. Whatever is present. Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunjitaha Magrada Kashashviddanam. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatyam Jagat. So Lord has penetrated, he has entered into the whole universe, and he is taking care, he is controlling the whole material world and spiritual world. And not only the spiritual world he is present as Bhagavan, but in material world he enters as Paramatma feature and controls Shirodakshaya Vishnu, as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So we will, because we are going to recite Shruti mantra, that is Upanishad. So generally Upanishads, before reciting, before learning, they recite it in a particular meter in which the Vedic mantras are recited. Therefore, we will try to recite the whole Upanishad, Isha Upanishad, all 18 mantras, and then start today our first mantra discussion. Okay. So all of you have your Ishopanishad books. So right now I'm not having to present mantra wise all 18 mantras because it's in the format of Veda base. But still all of you can refer to your textbooks of Upanishad, and we will try to recite one by one. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Ishavashyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bhunjita Magradha Kashashviddanam Kurvanyeveha Karmani Jijivishe Chatam Samaha Evam Tvayi Nanyate Tosti Na Karma Lipyate Nare Asurya Namate Loka Andena Tam Savrataha Tamste Prityabhigachanti Eke Chatmahana Janaha Anejadekam Manso Javiyo Nainadevamapnuvam Purvamarshad Tadhavato Anyannate Tishtat Tasminnapo Matarishva Dadati Tadde Jati Tannai Jati Taddure Tadvantike Tad Antarasya Sarvasya Tadu Sarvasyasya Bhayataha Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atmanyevanupashyati Sarvabhuteshu Chatmanam Tato na Vijugupsate Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Bhuta Vijanataha Tatra ko mohaka shoka Ekatvam Anupashyataha Saparyak Shukram Akayam Avranam Asna Viryam Shuddham Apapaviddham Kavirmanishi paribo swayambhut yata tata yatortan vedadat shashvatibhya samabhya andam tamapravishyanti ye vidyayam upasate tato bhuyaiva te tamo eu vidyayam rataha anyad evahur vidyaya anyad avura vidyaya iti shushrumadirana enastadvichachakshire vidyayam cha yas tadvedo vayam saha avidyayam mrityum tirtva vidyayam amritamashnute andam tamapravishanti sambhutim upasate tato bhuyaiva te tamo yau sambhutyamritaha अन्यद एवाहु संभवाद अन्यदावर संभवात इति शुश्रुमदीराणाम एनस्तद्विचक्षिरे सम शंभुतिं च विनाशं च यस्तद्वेदो भयं सः विनाशेन मृत्युं तीर्त्वा शंभुत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पत्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषण अपावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूषण एकर्षयम सूर्य प्रजापत्य दिव्यरश्मिन् समूह तेजो यत्ते रूपं कल्याणतमं तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसौ असौ पुरुषो सममस्मि वायुरनिलममृतम् अतेदं बाष्मान्तं शरीरम् ॐ कृतो स्मर कृतं स्मर कृतो स्मर कृतं स्मर अग्नेनया सुपातरायास्मन् विश्वानि देवा वयुनानि विद्वन् युयोदस्मा जुहुराणमेनु भूयिष्ठां ते नाम युक्तिं विदेम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So all of you can have your hard copy book for the whole recitation. Possible, I'll try to put all mantras together and try to make a PDF and try to share in the next class. But in case it is not there, we'll try to recite from the book. Okay. So something to recollect from previous discussions. We had 2 discussions till now. Would like to share something? And suddenly devotees from 30 have come to 25. Is it because of attendance? No attendance for off videos? Or is it for because of Guru Purnima? Devotees have gone for Guru Purnima celebration somewhere. Dasraj Prabhu, what is the status? Okay. So no issues. Those who can keep on videos, they can keep on. Those who can't, let them continue with their videos off. But they can to hear as much as they can. Otherwise, their Bhakti Shastri will never get completed. Okay. You can make an announcement. But that doesn't mean that everybody switches off their videos. Okay. Yes. Someone you can recollect from previous session.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So we discussed that Lord is Satchit Anand and the form is personal. We discussed that if living entities are coming from Lord and if living entities have form, so Lord also has form.
If Lord doesn't have a form, then?
Will not become Purnam.
Huh?
It is full, right? I mean, Purnam itself, it is incomplete.
I want to ask him, Himanshu Dikshit Prabhu.
Sorry.
If Lord doesn't have a form, yeah, I'll come back to you, Srinivas. If Lord doesn't have a form, then?
How is it possible, Prabhu? I can't imagine why will Lord not have form.
No. What Prabhupada is telling, if Lord doesn't have a form, then?
I don't remember that, Prabhu. Sorry.
I remember, can I tell Prabhuji? Sorry, I started so.
Yes.
As his creation has a form, he should also have the form, right? I mean, basically, and all his creation has the form. So it is not that he should definitely have the form, right? Or else he will not be complete.
So if he doesn't have a form, then? Yeah, he is complete. Okay, if he has a
Yeah.
form, he's complete. If he doesn't have a form, then
How the creation coming from him can have a form
okay, that
without
only I'm asking. So
Yeah.
if he doesn't have a form, then what it indicates, Lord is
incomplete.
yeah, simple.
Which is not possible.
He cannot be
No.
anything less than what we are.
So therefore, logic-wise, two things Prabhupada is trying to quote. One is Brahma Samhita, Satchidananda Vigraha, and logic. If the creator doesn't have a form, the source doesn't have a form, and the product has a form, this phenomenal world, Jivatmas, everybody has a form, then the creator becomes less in the creation logically. This is what Prabhupada uses the logic there. I think this is the same line Prabhupada repeats there. Yes, we saw it in the first paragraph. Ram Reddy Prabhu, can you read the first paragraph of the Om Purna? That line which we are trying to figure out. It's called last but second line of first paragraph. Yeah, I can unmute yourself.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Shall I beginning, Prabhu, the complete whole of the Supreme Absolute from there?
Last first paragraph of the Om Purnamada verse. First paragraph, last but second line.
Okay, Prabhu. Thus, the complete whole is not formless. If he were formless, or if he were less than his creation in any other way, he could not be complete.
Yes, Prabhupada writes here. So if you are formless, he could not be complete. So this first paragraph is carries 10 marks for your open book assignment. Second question. Only two questions if you have seen the handbook. Based on Ishopanishad principle, how beneficial it is applying in personal life, in ISKCON, and society in general. That is 50 marks. Based on Ishopanishad verses, translations, purports, and lectures, you can prove how Lord is a person, how Lord is not a just impersonal. And Lord is impersonal also as a Brahma Jyoti, but it's not just impersonal. He is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Okay, so that is the second question. So for that, this is 1/5 of the answer, 10 marks out of 50, and many more will come. This should be there, not 1/5, 8 marks. Or if 100, then 10 marks, and 90 more, 9 more points will come in throughout the whole 18 mantras. I'm just telling the answer it also itself, so that I want to see when you write your answers, OB answers, how many of you will mention all 10 points, even after telling. Okay, anything else from previous?
Prabhuji, I want to ask one thing, Prabhuji.
Okay.
It says whatever is complete from coming from the Lord is also complete because he's complete, right? So this world is also complete only if we use the resources and energies of this world in realizing him.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So does that mean if we use all our energies in realizing him, there is no threefold miseries for us or in this world?
How it is you are in an ocean and you are on a ship. It is going to rock. Till the time you're in ocean. Only when you get down from the ship or a steamer on the land, it will not shake. So these three tapas and fourfold miseries will be there. And if
but still called complete.
Yeah, it's still called complete because the purpose of the world is not to stay here. Like Jesus says in Bible, don't try to build your house on the bridge. The purpose of this world is not to settle down here. It is to wind up from here. Three tapas will be there because the threefold miseries are made in such a way to remind us about Lord. You will come to, we will study, you will read it in mantra 11 or 12. The incompatibility with matter shows miseries of this material world indicates that incompatibility with matter. Jiva is 25th element or 24th element, and this world is matter. So it's like not a good match. Different matter at all. Different physical, different what do you say? composition. This is Satchitananda, is Asat, Achit, Nirananda. So together the body is Achit, Asat, Nirananda. Oh, how much we practice Krishna consciousness, till the time we don't come, like Sridhar Maharaj was there in 2004, he departed from this world. So he was known as Jolly Swami, and he had got some disease, a deadly disease, because of which he had to leave his body. And because of which his whole stomach was built up because of water, unnecessary water filling in the stomach area. And they took him to show to doctor disciples. Doctor was trying to check, put different meters and trying to insert some tubes and trying to find out. And then at the last, almost just 6-7 months before departure, he's going to depart in next 2 months, 4-5 months. And he's asking question to the doctor, is it a boy or a girl? Basically, Mataji's, when they want to have, they carry child, the stomach gets swelled up. And they go to test to doctor to find out, okay, child is how it is. And then Sridhar Swami Maharaj was just, he's a sannyasi in ISKCON. They have brought your body in 4 or 5 months. Still he has, why he was called as Jolly Swami? Because then he made a statement, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So we are not the bodies. So body will suffer, but the soul doesn't suffer. But the soul's identifying with the body makes us feel that we are suffering. It's like a dream state. It's a projection of the soul on the body since so many lifetimes. That makes us feel that we are connected to this. And that is what is called conditioning. So when we speak about Purna Mada doesn't mean that miseries will end. Purna Mada doesn't mean that winters will not be cold. Purna Mada means summer will not be hot. It will continue. But pain is inevitable. It is going to pinch us. But we will not complain, अरे कितना गर्मी है, मैं जपा नहीं कर सकता, अरे कितना ठंडा है, मैं भागवतम नहीं पढ़ सकता, कितना बारिश हो रहा है, मैं सत्संग में नहीं आ सकता. We will not complain like that. We understand. We are in the material world. It is going to rain. Let's have an umbrella. Om Purnamata means rainy season, we have umbrella. Winter season, we have coat. Summer season, okay, we can put on AC and be comfortable if we can afford it. That's fine. We adjust and we carry on. The business, we have come to this material world to wind up and go. Sometimes in most of the places, the whole material world is compared. It's a very, different analogy. When we visit different temples or different big centers where a lot of toilet and bathrooms are there and a lot of devotees are there, they come for Gaur Punyam festival or some other Janmashtami festival. Then devotees have to take a bath quickly and go to Mangalarti. And they put a big notice inside. They make 4 by 5 inch notice with this material world is like a toilet. Get out of this as soon as possible. The purpose of that is, Prabhu, go take bath, cleanse yourself, and go to Mangalarti quickly because devotees are in line and something like that. Therefore, this is not a place to stay. But somehow, the power of Maya is so powerful that because of Praksheka Atmika and our Atmika Shakti, the Jivatma gets hooked to this material world. Even when Indra, because Lord Indra, because of some reason, he has to become a hog. And he comes to the society of hog. There also is Indra with his wife, with his children. And after some time, the tenure is over and Brahma comes to call him. He says, no, I can't leave my wife, I can't leave my children. And Brahma forcefully with his Prakshika Shakti, he makes that wife hog is delivered, the child hog is delivered, and then he starts crying, where are all my society? Then he goes back to the heaven. So that is what? Tapa. Tapa makes us understand this is not a fit place. But still, when we become pure devotees, based on our practice, we will rise above the bodily suffering. We'll rise above the body suffering. It's not suffering will not be there. Suffering will be there. As you become old, beyond cross 50, if you get up in the morning, Not now. Now it's in Kali Yuga, it's 40. Get up in the morning, and if you don't have bodily pain, that means either you are liberated from the material body or we are dead. That means we'll have pain. Hare Krishna. So Purnamada means we have an opportunity which, as humans, to reform and to rectify and to revive love for Krishna. In that way, it is Purna. Yes. Miseries will continue. Summer, the seasons will continue. Sometimes devotees will feel enthusiastic, sometimes devotees will not feel enthusiastic, sometimes devotees will really inspire us, sometimes same devotees will get fed up with. But still, we have to be patient and continue practicing Krishna consciousness. Understanding this is the last life. If I don't offend Vaishnavas and chant Hare Krishna, and in their association, practice Bhakti. Any other point? Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So another example which I get to my mind is when you go to study after 11th, 12th, we have to go to university, we have to give up our cozy bedrooms, mother, father, food, travel some 100 miles, 2,200 miles, 300 miles, go to hostel, 2 people, 1 people, 3 people, the food is miserable. The whole ethos is miserable, the environment is miserable. But purpose of going to university or college is to study there, get a degree, and then get placed. Similarly, it's not everything in the university is so fit. There are all kinds of miseries, all kinds of obstacles, all kinds of people. But still, focus is very clear. The purpose of going there is to get a degree and then come back. Similarly, you come to this material world to experience. This is not a fixed place. Revive, develop love for Lord by practicing Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prem Bhakti, then exit. Yes. Anybody else would like to share something from the previous discussion? There was one Mata just saying, Prabhu, we have read so many times this Ishopanishad, but this is like new feeling. Where is that Mataji? In Karuna Radhika Mataji, you had told? Yes, I remember. Yes, Mataji. What you had liked from the previous discussion, you can share. I think you need to join the video.
Mataji, you are on mute, I believe.
It's not mute. She has not joined video. You have to log out and then again join, and then at the initial, there the option will come join video, join with video.
I can see Mataji, but only not able to hear her.
No, when I'm seeing in participants, everybody has a mic, but she also has mic. She's also muted. Okay, she's also unmuted. No issues. No issues, Mother. Somehow there is some technical issues, therefore you're not able to speak.
Must be some problem with your mic, Mataji.
Yes.
Can you hear me now, Prabhu?
Yeah, now it is clear. I think your Bluetooth has some issues. Yes, Mataji. Please go.
Remember about the 24 elements of material creation you discussed, Prabhu, about the Panchabhutas, Tanmatras, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and how they interact with the Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chitta, Prabhu.
Yeah. I will clarify regarding the 24 elements a little bit later. I'll try to go to different places. I'll try to find out the authentic 25 elements. The Bhagavatam in Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhupada gives, and then I'll confirm which are the 24 elements exact. Yes, but I knew I knew you will be answering this 24 elements only.
And that ether is sound, and then how each one adds up was nice, Prabhu. That I didn't know. Sound plus sparsh is the air. So that ascending order is nice, Prabhu.
Yes. Basically, it is Purna. The Lord has made all arrangements to give the soul simulation. In engineering term, it is called simulation, simulated world. Rishabh Thompson is an initial devotee of and disciple of Prabhupada. So he writes in simulations, simulated world. So soul is simulated in this body. And therefore, we have to come out of the simulation by practicing bhakti. So everything is complete for going back to Godhead. And how we can do that? Anybody would like to add any other point? Last point, and then we'll wrap up and go to the next mantra. What Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about Om Purnamada Purnamidam, and what Prabhupada writes about Om Purnamada Purnamidam. What is the invocation mantra? Purna mantra, Purnamada mantra. Somebody can, in your own words, try to tell what is this invocation mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Padma Mataji.
What my understanding is probably. So Lord is always complete. Whatever comes from him is also complete. Even though something comes from him, it's not like a part of him is taken away, then he becomes incomplete. It is not like that. Even something comes from him, he still remains complete.
Good, very nice. And whatever he is complete, whatever comes from this like phenomenon, the world is complete. Although something comes from him, he remains a perfect balance. That doesn't diminish him. So this is Prabhupada writes. So Om Purnamadaha, that and this, Idam. Prabhupada writes that Purnamadaha is spiritual world, our Lord himself, Om, and Idam means this world. And all this, so many universes come from the Lord. Still, Lord doesn't get diminished. He remains a complete balance. What Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, this will not come for your CB or OB, but just for the understanding. What is that Adaha? What is that Idam?
Spiritual world and the material world.
And that is Prabhupada writes. But from that Adaha, Idam. Om is Supreme Lord. From Supreme Lord, with his spiritual paraphernalia, this material world comes out. And still remains a perfect balance. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna, the Avatari, the source of all sources, he is that Adaha, and Idam is the Avataras, all the incarnations coming from the Lord. Okay? So Krishna and all incarnations. So from Krishna, all incarnations come. He is a fountainhead of all incarnations. Bhagavatam 1:327. Although all incarnations come, but Krishna is complete, and all incarnations also are complete. And still Krishna remains a complete balance. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in that way. Okay?
Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada says Ada is spiritual world, and one more point you said?
Adaha, Purnamada is Lord himself. Om, the person of Godhead. Purnamadaha. Prabhupada is writing the translation. So Prabhupada, according to Prabhupada, this whole material world is coming, the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. Because it's completely perfect. All emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete hosts. Purnamada refers to Krishna, and this Purnamidam refers to the gigantic universes coming from him.
Okay, thank you.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that Purnamada refers to Krishna, Purnamidam refers to all the incarnations coming from him. But please try to read Prabhupada commentary, invocation. After finishing all the mantras, please go through the whole purport so that you can easily write CBs and OBA. But we'll go by only from this book, we will be getting questions. And that also there is a handbook, Bhakti Shastri handbook, you have already 20 questions mentioned there. From that, 90% of the questions will be coming for a closed book. I hope you have a nice experience of NOI, right? 90% to 95% will come from those questions. Maybe so easy, very easy. All of you are written all the exams, and questions are given to you, and told 90% will come from this. It is the easiest question paper, I hope. Till now, I've written my whole life. Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta. Okay. So I'll go to next mantra. We'll start Upanishad today. So we'll recite this 3 times, and then we'll go for word to word meaning. Already we've recited. We'll recite it. Yeah, 3 times we'll recite it. We have time. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunjita Magrada Kashashviddanam. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yatkincham Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunjita Magrada Kashashviddanam. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunjita Magrada Kashashviddanam. So any 2 devotees, 3 devotees can recite.
ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यं जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिता मा घृता कस्य स्विद्धनम्. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Varun Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bhanjita Mam Grida Kashyas Siddha Dhanam.
Yes, one more devotee.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Ishavasya idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magridaha kasya sviddanam.
Yes. So if you see carefully, Ishaha, controller. Vashyam, Vas, like you go in a room and decide. So Sanskrit Vas means basically Vasudeva, Vasudevam iti Samatma Sadurlabha. So Isha Vashyam, Isha Avashyam. He goes and decides and controls it completely. What is that? Idam. Whatever you see, Sarvam, around. Yatkincham. There is nothing in this left. Nothing left in this world which is not controlled by him. Yatkincham Jagatyam Jagat. Animate, inanimate, both. Jagat. Tena Taktena Bunjitaha. And Tena Taktena Bunjitaha. 3.15 Bhagavad Gita. Yadna Sishta China Santa Muchante Sarvakil Vishai Bhunjate Tetavam Papa Pachantyatmak Karana. That Bhunjate Pachantyatmak Karana. Those who eat only for their own selfishness, they eat only sin. But those santas who offer, they eat, they become free from sin. Bhunjate Sarvakil Vishai. Yadna Sishta China Santa Muchante Sarvakil Vishai. Similarly, Tena Taktena Bhunjita. Bhunjitama means he can enjoy. He is entitled to enjoy. Tena taktena punjitaha. Quota is allotted to him to enjoy. And whatever quota is allotted to him enjoy, he should not try to grab on others' quota. Magrada kashashviddanam. Magrada. No. Knowing well to whom it belongs. Magrada kashashviddanam. Kashashvid, knowing well to whom it belongs. It belongs to the Lord, and it is allotted to some other person. So Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam. Word to word. Isha by the Lord, Avashyam controlled. If you go and stay in a room, then you are control of that whole room. And is the control of a tiny hole. Snake is control of its that snake house, whatever it is. Ant makes big with red soil, and then snake goes and stays in it. Actually, rat goes and stays in it. Then snake eats the rat and starts staying in it. It becomes a control. Similarly, the whole universe is controlled and owned. So it's not just Lord is the creator, he's also the not just the owner, but he's also controller. Many Western philosophers, what they say is, especially monks like Charles Darwin, who lost his wife, lost his daughter, and he became from theist to atheist, managed to read Bible. Then he wanted to begin this evolution of life. So the first statement he made was, Lord breathed the living entities into this world. But then some of the philosophers, then he over a period of time he became a evolutionist theory came out. But some of the philosophers who were like very ardent followers of their own religion, when things didn't went their way, when reverses came in their life, when they lost near and dear ones, when they had losses, they saw that Lord is a creator because they could not give up that acceptance of God, because they have led their life with that principle, preaching that principle. But they brought a new philosophy that Lord is a owner, Lord is a creator, but he's not the controller. It's like example of a watch company. The watch company owner manufactures Titan or some other. And that once the company manufactures, the watch is in your hand, you can screw it and change the time. But that is not a fact. Not only Lord is the owner, Lord is also controller. Owned and controlled. And he also not only is owning and controlling, he is also allotting quota to every living entity. And the living entity should accept only that which is his quota, and not encourage another's quota, knowing well to whom it belongs. So yeah, word to word meaning. Kincha, whatever. Sarvam, all. Jagatyam, within the universe, Jagat, all that is animate or inanimate. Tena bahim, taktena set apart quota. Bunjita, you should accept. Ma, do not. Gradaha, endeavor to gain. Kashashvit of anyone else, dhanam, the wealth. Translation, everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. And one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. That means everything animate, inanimate. Those who are animate means those who are alive, and inanimate means those who don't have life. Living and non-living, that is what we learned in the beginning primary school. Within this universe is controlled and owned. He is a source and he is also controlling it. Lord is within everything and everything in Lord. So I'll come to it in Yastu Sarvani Bhutarani Mantra 6. A higher version of this will be reading there. And one should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself. So what is necessary for us? Okay, house to live, a husband, wife and children to take care of, and then a job which will pay us some money, where we can send children to school, we can have basic necessity, something for the future, some unseen thing will happen, so some savings for that. When children grow up, then for their marriage, for the studies, basic. So one should accept that. And one should not unnecessarily try to encroach upon others' quota. How will you understand we are trying to encroach means sadhana gets disturbed, person gets irritated, he can't speak peacefully. All these things are the symptoms that okay, we are going beyond our quota. Basic physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. The spiritual life gets is at toll. The emotional side, you're not able to give emotion to the family members. Intellectual side, okay, we are not able to perform. We may perform very nicely, but again, it's like team playing gets disturbed, and then physically the health gets disturbed. One has to invest so much on the body. So that is the meaning of trying to accept something beyond our quota. So that disturbs the whole thing. The whole life gets imbalanced. So this mantra one, the book Ishopanishad is named after the mantra one. Ishah starts with. And as I was telling, this Isha doesn't refer to Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, it refers to Lord Vishnu. Because Lord Vishnu is only the controller and the owner. And he even controls Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Okay. So Prabhupada, how he does is, he approaches telling that this Vedic knowledge is infallible. Why? Because it is coming in perfect parampara, Guru Shishya parampara. And this Guru Shishya parampara, the main acharyas, they are receiving this knowledge from Lord himself. So this knowledge which we are gaining is coming in Guru Shishya parampara, therefore it is perfect. And Lord himself is directly giving this knowledge. And in turn, Brahma is giving this to Narada. Lord has given this knowledge to Sri. Lord has given this knowledge to Lord Shiva. Lord has given this knowledge to Kumaras. And in turn, they have passed it in disciplic succession. And therefore, it is free of 4 defects. In the introductory class, we saw Veda means knowledge. Any knowledge of this world is called as Veda. That is liberal meaning. And little median meaning of the Vedas, or average meaning of the Vedas is Ashruti, Smruti, and Nyaya. And a restricted meaning of the Vedas is 4 Vedas. That is what we saw. But this Vedic knowledge is free of 4 defects because it is coming in disciplic succession and it is coming from Lord himself. Therefore, it is called as, it is coming from the Lord, not from any Purusha of this world. It's called as Apaurushaya, and it is coming in perfect parampara. So because of this, it is free from 4 defects. Again, the same introduction which we had read on the introduction class on last Tuesday. Prabhupada notes down the same thing here. And then little later he goes to mention about the theme of Ishopanishad. What is the theme of Ishopanishad? Isha avashyam idam sarvam. So Lord is the supreme controller and owner. So Ishopanishad speaks about the ownership of the Lord and controllership of the Lord. And therefore Bhagavad Gita 7.7 chapter is quoted. Everything that is para, apara, prakriti, that is spiritual and material, is owned and controlled by the Lord. 7.4, 7.5, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Man Kamo Buddhi Revacha. So that, and that is subtle body, the gross body, that is my property, that is separated energy. And even the Jivatma is also my energy, but it is marginal energy. Both are my property. And therefore, the matter is Lord's, the soul is Lord's. So everything is owned and controlled by the Lord. And even the, and everything is owned and controlled by the Lord. So that is the second heading which I have marked in. Prabhupada expands his whole purport on that. He gives the analogy of fire, which has heat and light. It has different energies. Thus he remains the ultimate controller, sustainer, dictator, and he possesses all 6 opulences. So because Lord is controller of matter, material energy, Lord is controller of marginal energy, Jivatma, and therefore we should acknowledge his proprietorship and align with his instruction. Imagine we are going on a picnic and we are very hungry and we come to a center and somehow or other on the way we come across a big bungalow and nice fragrance is coming off pulao made in ghee with basmati rice, and then there is paneer makkan wala, and then there is puris, hot puris kept inside the case. Then there is gulab jamun. The fragrance is coming like anything with elaichi powder and some dry fruit cut and sliced and put on it. And there is rasmalai, then there is rabdi, there is malpua, and we are very hungry. And we get inside and nobody is there. Everybody has cooked and they have gone somewhere for a bath or in swimming pool, and you are searching out. Nobody is there and you are hungry. And suddenly you sit on the dining table and you see nobody is there. You start asking anybody, nobody is there, and take a plate and sit. And suddenly at that moment someone comes. What you will do? You will tell, I'm very hungry, can I have it? And if they are pious, they'll tell, okay, no issue, no issue. Yeah, like you're having a tilak and a bit bag, next seems like you are a God conscious person, no issue, carry on. And you also know that, okay, there is no onion garlic in it. Then you will offer it and then you'll have it. So like acknowledge, na? So basically you'll take their permission before having it. So similarly, when you know that this whole world is owned and controlled by the Lord, we need to take permission. We need to acknowledge the proprietorship of the Lord and align with the instruction of the Lord. That is what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada gives an analogy of cow. Two analogies he gives. Cow gives milk, 6 liters milk. Gir cow gives, Saiwal gives 7 liters. Jersey gives 20 liters. But it doesn't drink, it gives for others. But similarly, one udder is for the calf and 3 udders are for the human being. So, but cow eats grass and gives the milk to others. So the milk is not cow's quota, it is human's quota. So such is the arrangement of the Lord. Everything is made for everybody's need, not for one man's greed. So similarly, we may hire a person for constructing a house. We may hire a mansion. We may give him daily wages. We may hire a contractor. But after the contractor finishes, after the mansion does his daily wages, ultimately the key comes to you. You are the owner. Srila Prabhupada quotes, the cement, the glass, the brick, everything is coming from Lord. And like you pay for a contractor or you pay for a mansion. So when you purchase a land and build, it's like a daily wage person. Lord will also pay you some daily wage. You are like a rented person there. You are not the proprietor of the property. For example, when we hire a carpenter for making some furniture, just because he's making a furniture doesn't mean that he becomes owner. Just because a contractor builds a house doesn't mean he's the owner. Similarly, this whole world, material world, all the matter, all the elements, everything is owned by the Lord. Just because a laborer cannot claim to be a proprietor of a thing just because he has worked hard to manufacture it. We are just laborers. We can just take prasad, purify our heart, become Krishna consciousness and push up from this world. Rather than telling, okay, this is my home, I'm having 50 acres of land here, and my son, my grandson, my great grandson, everybody will stay here. People are like that, attached. But what will happen? They desire and deserve. They are attached to stay there. But Prabhupada says they may become a cockroach there, or they become a rat there, or they may become a dog there. Like one of the Prime Minister of India became dog in Switzerland. Prabhupada says in one of his lectures. So attachment may be there. And they may stay there, but the conditions will not be favorable. They are there, but in which body? Some other body. So modern society, Prabhupada speaks about the capitalist and communist, Russia and US that time, and even about the laborers and capitalists, the owners. So laborers tell that Hamari mangi puri karo, and the owner says that no, as much less wage as we can give to you, that is better. And Prabhupada tell communist and capitalist, bombs are in both hands. So one can throw on the other. So we don't know what will happen to the world. So if this will happen, if both capitalist and communist, the Russians and the Americans, if they don't acknowledge proprietorship of the Lord, the bombs are in both hands. They can destroy the whole globe. So this is Prabhupada writing in 1944, Back to World magazine article, the first article. That is what, therefore, we should acknowledge Lord's proprietorship and we should try to align with him. Then that can bring peace to the world. Both parties must follow the instructions of Ishopanishad. Then next, okay, if Lord is existing, so what is the responsibility? So animals versus humans. We should not just be like animals and try to just eat, sleep, and just try to enjoy. But human life is a life of responsibility. And therefore, we should try to acknowledge Lord. We should try to not commit sin. And we should try to lead a God-conscious life. Otherwise, we'll be punished. Animals are having no punishment because they don't break laws of God, laws of nature. They are just programmed. They don't act. They just act instinctively. But humans can think. They have the free will, and therefore they are responsible for breaking the laws, and they will be punished. And Prabhupada mentions, tiger will not come and eat, vegetarian food. It will eat non-veg. That is how it is programmed. So humans should not try to break the principles which are given to them. but strictly follow the laws of nature. And one of the application of this Ishopanishad principle is we should eat vegetarian diet, and just vegetarian is not enough. Even monkey is vegetarian, pigeon is vegetarian, but there is no special elevation by becoming a vegetarian. One should offer bhoga to the Lord and accept Krishna Prasad. So Prabhupada takes this commentary from Bhakti Thakur for this Ishavasham as practical thing for Grahasthas. Almost the most personal application. This is OBA 1 based on Ishavasham principle. How we can apply in your life, personal life, society in general, ISKCON. So personal life, you will only take prasad. Patram pushpam balam toyam yome bhakta prayashati tadam bhakti upatra asnami prayatatmana. That is what we learn from the principle of this. But 3.13, those who eat don't offer, they eat only sin. So human versus animal life, vegetarian versus prasad. Then root of sin. What is root of sin? After knowing also why people suffer, they deliberately, because they are moodas, they are naradamas, they are asuram bhava, and there is maya partagyana, 4 kind of dushkritinal. They don't want to accept the proprietorship of the Lord. Jan bush ke paap karna. The root of sin is deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Jan bush ke Bhagwan ko na maano. Itna ved batata hai, alag alag Upanishad batate hain, alag alag Puran batate hain, फिर भी मैं भगवान को नहीं मानता. I don't accept Lord. That is the root of sin. This is like all incompleteness is because of incomplete knowledge of complete whole. That is one of the amazing statement in invocation. This is one of the amazing statement in mantra 1. The root of sin is deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Vedas speak about how a person should act, how a person should not act, how a human should act, how should not act. But we don't follow it because Vedas are given by the Lord, and we want to just do our manmani. Avajananti mamuda. Therefore, they are called demonic mentality. Then what will happen? They have to suffer. Disobeying the laws of nature or the order of the Lord brings ruin to human being. Conversely, one who is sober, who knows the laws of nature, and who is not influenced by unnecessary attachment, raga, vesha, is sure to be recognized by the Lord and thus become eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, by accepting the Ishopanishad principle, one can offer basic necessities. He understands whatever I have, everything is given to me by the Lord, everything is gifted to me by the Lord, and let me become grateful and let me lead a honest life. And if you do that, what is the benefit? He can live like that for kurvanevehi karmane jijivichetam samaha nanyatosti na karma lippetenere. He will not be bound by the karma. That is the benefit of following mantra 1. That is mantra 2. Nasuri namate loka tam andya tam savata tam se pratyabhigachanti ye atmacha hana janaha. So such people who don't follow this principle, as it is told, deliberate disobedience, they have to go to the hellish planets. They forget. Also, they get human body. Human body is complete form of material existence to realize Lord, but then they get degenerated from the human body. Their soul sinks into the animal body, then to the hellish conditions, where they lose an opportunity to realize God and go back to God. And therefore, they're called as killers of the soul. That is mantra 3. This is unit invocation, mantra 1, mantra 2, mantra 3. Invocation, Lord is complete, world is complete, Jivatma is complete when he realizes Lord. What should Jivatma should do to realize Lord? Accept the properties of the Lord, align with him, not encroach on others' property, knowing well to whom it belongs. It belongs to Lord. And Lord has given that to somebody else's quota. One should not encroach on others. That is the Ishavasham principle. And then, when one follows the Ishavasham principle, he can stay peacefully 100 of years. Peacefully doesn't mean that, okay, everything is fine. Tritap will not be there. No, it will be there. But he knows, after this, I'm going back to Godhead. And sometimes, Tritap also doesn't torment. Like Mataji was asking, Tritap will become free of tap. Yeah, will become free of tap. But problem is, a third canto, 15, 16 chapter of Bhagavatam, the Manu, the king of the whole 72 kalpas, he is the king of the whole planet, Bhumandala. He is simply engaged in Krishna Kirtan, gets up with Krishna Kirtan, while sleeping he has Shen Kirtan. Throughout the day he is just Krishna conscious, reading Bhagavatam with all his associates, with all his official ministers, and his daughter is married, son is married, and everywhere all the citizens are getting their grains, and everything is beyond three tapas. But that is completely under Lord's. The leader is pious, like Rama. Lord Ram was Lord himself, and he was pious. The citizens were living a life which is beyond three tapas. So, but in the Kali Yuga, the leader himself is not pious. Whole world, the one king, there are multiple kings. They themselves are not pious. They don't accept technology, Lord's proprietorship. So even if you practice Krishna consciousness, there's no there is no sure that will become three tapa. Beyond, will become free of three tapa. So leader also has to be Krishna conscious for that, because then the citizens also can lead a very, very amazing life. But in the absence of that, at least let us practice bhakti. Although there are three tapas, we cannot become free of three tapas or fourfold miseries. Practice bhakti, endure the pain. Pain is inevitable. Let us not suffer by rising above the body consciousness and go back home back to Godhead. Okay. So now we'll quickly skim to the purport. Okay. Which one is you feel better? Okay, go one paragraph by paragraph or throughout the whole purport, like today. But we'll try to read the purport paragraph, and then it will at least some points which are most vital I'll try to add. Devotees can take turn and try to read. Yes, Varun, can you read?
Sure.
Yes.
Vedic knowledge is infallible, perfect parampara, and apaurushaya. Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down through the perfect disciplic succession of spiritual masters, beginning with the Lord himself. Since he spoke the first word of Vedic knowledge, the source of this knowledge is transcendental. The words spoken by the Lord are called apaurushaya, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has four defects. He is certain to commit mistakes. He is subject to illusion. He has a propensity to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. No one with these four imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature. Vedic knowledge was originally imparted by the Lord into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma, in his turn, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples who have handed it down through the history.
So this is Vedic knowledge is infallible because it is coming in. A Lord only is giving the knowledge. He is a creator, he is a proprietor, he is owner, and is giving a manual for this humanity. And that is also coming in perfect parampara. That is coming in perfect parampara. And therefore, this because of these two conditions, Vedic knowledge is infallible. Perfect parampara and apaurushaya. Lord is the source, and the disciplic succession, it is being handed on for time immemorial. Therefore, it is beyond four defects. That is what we covered. Yes, next. Theme of Ishopanishad.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, so please carry on.
Theme of Ishopanishad: Lord is a supreme proprietor and controller of everything. Since the Lord is Purnam, all perfect, there is no possibility of his being subjected to the laws of material nature, which he controls. However, both the living entities and inanimate objects are controlled by the laws of nature and ultimately by the Lord's potency. This Ishopanishad is a part of the Yajur Veda, and consequently it contains information concerning the proprietorship of all things existing within the universe. The Lord's proprietorship over everything within the universe is confirmed in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 7.4 to 7.5, where para and apara prakriti are discussed. The elements of nature, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego, all belong to Lord's inferior material energy, apara and prakriti, whereas a living being, the organic energy, is his superior energy, para prakriti. Both of these prakritis or energies are emanations from the Lord, and ultimately he is the controller of everything that exists. There is nothing in the universe that does not belong to either the para or apara prakriti. Therefore, everything is a property of Supreme Being. Because the Supreme Being, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the complete person, he has complete and perfect intelligence to adjust everything by means of his different potencies. The Supreme Being is often compared to a fire, and everything organic and inorganic is compared to the heat and light of that fire. Just as fire distributes energy in the form of heat and light, the Lord displays his energy in different ways. He thus remains the ultimate controller, sustainer, and dictator of everything. He is the possessor of all potencies, the knower of everything, and the benefactor of everyone. He is full of inconceivable opulence, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation.
So this Ishopanishad is a part of Yajurveda, and consequently it contains information concerning the properties of the Lord. So, and Prabhupada is giving an analogy of heat and light here. He thus remains the ultimate controller, sustainer, and dictator of everything. He is a possessor of all potencies, knower of everything, benefactor, full of inconceivable opulences, power, fame. All this blue water highlighted is going to come in mantra 4-5. It's going to come inconceivable opulence, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. We'll discuss it there. Okay. So regarding this, here it is speaking of theme of Ishopanishad. Lord is supreme proprietor and control of everything. What I'll try to do is, we will try to just complete this purport of Prabhupada, and we'll come back knowing the history of Upanishad, where it happened, how it happened, who spoke it to whom. So all these things we'll discuss, but we'll just try to go through the whole purport once. Yes, next devotee can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Acknowledging Krishna's proprietorship and aligning his instructions. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that except for the Lord, no one is a proprietor of anything. One should accept only those things that are set aside by the Lord as his quota. The cow, for instance, gives milk, but she does not drink that milk. She eats grass and straw, and her milk is designated as food for human beings. Such is the arrangement of the Lord. Thus, we should be satisfied with those things he has kindly set aside for us, and we should not always consider to whom those things we possess actually belong. Take, for example, our dwelling, which is made of earth, wood, stone, iron, cement, and so many other material things. If we think in terms of Sri Ishopanishad, we must know that we cannot produce any of these building materials ourselves. We can simply bring them together and transform them into different shapes by our labor. A laborer cannot claim to be a proprietor of a thing just because he has worked hard to manufacture it. In modern society, there is always a great quarrel between the laborers and the capitalists. This quarrel has taken an international shape, and the world is in danger. Men face one another in enmity and snarl just like cats and dogs. So Ishopanishad cannot give advice to cats and dogs, but it can deliver message of Godhead to man through the bona fide acharyas, holy teachers. The human race should take the Vedic wisdom of Sri Ishopanishad and not quarrel over material possessions. One must be satisfied with whatever privileges are given to him by the mercy of the Lord. There can be no peace if communists or capitalists or any other party claims proprietorship over the resources of nature, which are entirely property of the Lord. The capitalists cannot curb the communist, simply by political maneuvering, nor can the communists defeat the capitalists simply by fighting for stolen bread. If they do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all property they claim to be their own is stolen. Consequently, they will be liable to punishment by the laws of nature. Nuclear bombs are in the hands of both communists and capitalists. And if both do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that these bombs will ultimately ruin both parties. Thus, in order to save themselves and bring peace to the world, both parties must follow the instructions of Ishopanishad. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. Next, serious responsibilities of human life.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Please read, Mataji. Yes.
Human beings are not meant to quarrel like cats and dogs. They must be intelligent enough to realize the importance and aim of human life. The Vedic literature is meant for humanity and not for cats and dogs. Cats and dogs can kill other animals for food without incurring sin, but if a man kills for satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste buds, he is responsible for breaking the laws of nature. Consequently, he must be punished. The standard of life for human beings cannot be applied to animals. The tiger does not eat rice and wheat or drink cow's milk because he has been given food in the shape of animal flesh. Among the many animals and birds, some are vegetarian and others are carnivorous. But none of them transgress the laws of nature which have been ordained by the will of the Lord. Animals, birds, reptiles, and other lower life forms strictly adhere to the laws of nature. Therefore, there is no question of sin for them, nor are the Vedic instructions meant for them. Human life alone is a life of responsibility. It is wrong, however, to think that simply by becoming a vegetarian, one can avoid transgressing the laws of the nature. Vegetables also have life, and while it is nature's law that one living being is meant to feed another, for human beings, the point is to recognize the Supreme Lord. Thus, one should not be proud of being a strict vegetarian. Animals do not have developed consciousness by which to recognize the Lord, but a human being is sufficiently intelligent to take lessons from the Vedic literature and thereby know how the laws of nature are working and derive profit out of such knowledge. If a man neglects the instructions of Vedic literature, his life becomes very risky. A human being is therefore required to recognize the authority of the Supreme Lord and become his devotee. He must offer everything for the Lord's service and partake only of the remnants of food offered to the Lord. This will enable him to discharge his duty properly. In Bhagavad Gita 9.26, the Lord directly states that he accepts vegetarian food from the hands of a pure devotee. Therefore, a human being should not only become a strict vegetarian, but should also become devotee of the Lord, offer the Lord all his food, and partake of such prasadam for the mercy of God. Only those who act in this way can properly discharge the duties of the human life. Those who do not offer their food to the Lord eat nothing but sin and subject themselves to various types of distress, which are results of sin. BG 3.30. The root of sin is deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Disobeying the laws of nature or the order of the Lord brings ruin to a human being. Conversely, one is sober who knows the laws of nature and who is not influenced by unnecessary attachments or aversion is sure to be recognized by the Lord and thus become eligible to go back to Godhead, back to eternal health. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So therefore, this purport is Prabhupada is trying to speak about the proprietorship of the Lord. How Lord is how the Vedic knowledge is infallible. Once Vedic knowledge is infallible, why Prabhupada is trying to put it there? So that we need to follow it. To follow something, it should be perfect. If it's not perfect, how can you follow it? Therefore, Prabhupada is trying to put this here. I don't think that it is created by some mundane person of this world. It is created by Lord himself, a Paurushaya, not of this world. And it is coming in disciplic succession. And in that Vedic literature, in Shruti, in 4 Vedas, in that Ajurveda, the Shukla Ajurveda, this content of Ishopanishad is placed after the Samhita. And the Prabhupada speaks about that, and therefore you have to accept the Lord. He gives the analogy of fire, then analogy of cow, gives it quota for others. Just because we are working very hard and earning money doesn't mean that flat we are owning is ours. We are just like laborers. Laborers cannot claim to be owner. And quarrel will keep on going on at the level of a firm, factory, based on capitalists and workers, owners and workers. In countries at the level of world, between Russia and USA, communist capitalist, it will go on if we don't recognize Lord's proprietorship and try to align with him. Only thing is that will be chaos. If you want peace, then both parties must follow instruction of Ishopanishad. So here, in this first till here, society in general, application of Ishopanishad principle, benefit of applying the Ishopanishad principle in society in general is Prabhupada is just written here. He has just written the OB. So you don't have to just copy paste from here. You just take some themes and try to elaborate on it in your own words. This was written in 1944. You write now what is happening all throughout the world. People are anyway not accepting. The leaders are not accepting. So how it is resulting in how it is resulting in chaos and lack of peace, and how if everybody comes and accepts Ishopanishad principle that yes, there is one person and we have to align with him. If world leaders come together, then there can be peace and prosperity. If world leaders don't come, then there is a question of peace and prosperity. Therefore, your inputs for how we can make this world a better place, follow Ishopanishad principle, and you have to write these important points from here. And rest half comes about your personal life. So we need to become a devotee, and then we have to offer bhoga. Whatever we eat should be offered. It's not that okay, just I popped something, we are not offered. Okay, if it's milk, if it's curd, if it's fruits, fine, you can offer in mind and take it. But if you have an altar, better to offer it. Try to cook it, and Lord doesn't accept food cooked from somebody else who is not a devotee. Lord accepts food cooked from a devotee's hand. Prabhupada is writing here pure devotees, that is Srimati Radharani. And when we offer in Parampara, Acharyas offer it to Radharani, Radharani offers it to Krishna, and therefore Lord accepts it. But how can you offer a food which is cooked by someone who is not a devotee to Acharyas, and how it can be offered to Radharani, and how she can offer it? So we have to make arrangement in such a way that we chant 16 rounds, we try to follow 4 principles, and then we take bath, and then we cook prasad, and for the pleasure of the Lord, that is prasad. So in that the Lord is also pleased, and we can become peaceful. At last, aligning with the Lord. One who is sober, one knows the laws of nature, and who is not influenced by the unnecessary attachment, Lord will surely recognize him, and he can go back to Godhead. So this is what Prabhupada's purport concludes with. So now, there is so much. So now we have spoken for personal application, we have spoken for society in general. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Now third part is how by applying Ishopanishad principle, ISKCON will be benefited. That you have to think. Okay, that is a OBA surprise test. So I have told 2 things which is in purport. Now the third part, how to apply ISKCON. To think about ISKCON when the moment you come to Krishna consciousness till now, how things are going on, how we can make ISKCON a better place by applying the Ishopanishad principle. Does ISKCON follow the Ishopanishad principle? If so, how it is flourishing? Somewhere ISKCON not following. Then how it is not flourishing, how it is become stagnant. Yeah, those concepts should come in your OB. Understood, na? ISKCON is Prabhupada has opened ISKCON, so it's Prabhupada's home. But all the rooms in a home may not be functioning fully because Prabhupada has opened and ISKCON logo has come. That doesn't mean that ISKCON is beyond the inability of this material world. Based on the people, temple is not made by bricks and structure and AC or very big hall. Temple is made up of devotees. Based on the consciousness of the devotees staying there, to that degree, the temple becomes a Vaikuntha place. Okay, I've given a hint. So now, based on this, you expand. So therefore, first OBA. 2 OBAs are already started. Personal form, Ishopanishad principle. Personal life, society in general, ISKCON. And ISKCON means, I've given a hint, consciousness, based on the practitioner's consciousness. If it is strictly they are following, this is flourishing. They are not, then they have to align. And these concepts you can pull in, think, read, try to hear Prabhupada's transcriptions. You can read Prabhupada transcriptions which are available on Vedabase of Ishopanishad lectures, and try to bring in your concepts and write in your own words, introduction, conclusion, in between some of the themes you can add. Okay, so this is Ishopanishad principle, which we have discussed. Prabhupada also discussed. We can discuss for a long time, but rather than discussing this Ishopanishad principle, already we have completed the purport. We'll just go whereabouts, where it is starting, where is this Ishopanishad principle, Ishopanishad mentioned. We'll go to the commentary of Acharyas and try to bring. So what is the definition of Upanishad? Meaning of Upanishad is as follows. Upa, ni, shad. Upa means taking near. Ni means Lord. Shad means his lotus feet. Those scriptures which help the practitioner achieve liberation and bring the person close to the Lord are called as Upanishad. Achieve liberation and bring him close to the Lord. It's called as Upanishad. Upa means near. Nishiddhati means bring. Or the word may be Upa means near. Ni means certainly. Sad means loosen, destroy, or attain. That knowledge which loosens bondage, certainly destroys the ignorance, consumes the Jiva Swarupa, and brings one close to the Lord is called Upanishad. It loosens the bondage, Karma Bandhan, destroys the ignorance of the Swarupa, that we are the Ishvaroyam Aham Bhogi, and it brings us to practice Bhakti. That is called as Upanishad. It is called as Brahma Vidya or Rahasya Vidya. It's a secret knowledge imparted. What is this Upanishad? It's a secret knowledge imparted by the Guru to the disciple who realizes this in his heart. Meaning of all the Upanishads. Basically, they are for yatis or sannyasis. This is a secret knowledge which is imparted by the Guru to the disciple who is realizing in his heart. Yasya deve parabhakti yata deve tata guru tasahita kasitartha prakashante mahatmanam. So there are 108 Upanishads. To know about 108 Upanishads, you can go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, first Adilila, Adilila, 5th chapter, verse number 108, something like that. Somewhere like that. You will get all 108 Upanishads name. But 10 Upanishads name are mentioned here. Isha, Kena, Kata, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, Titiri, Aitaryam, Chandogya, Brhadaranyaka. These are the 10 Upanishads which are mentioned. Shvesteshwara, which is 11th. And what happens is, this regarding Shruti, Smriti and Nyaya, Shankaracharya has given a lot of stress for this Shruti, Upanishad. And therefore, the modern scholars, what they think that Shruti means is the only thing. And we have to refer Shruti for knowing the knowledge of Lord. Smriti and Nyaya doesn't matter. It is compiled by the present sages. But Vaishnavas, Vedavyas has compiled all the Vedic literature. He's not written it. He has compiled all the Vedic literature. Then he compiled the Puranas, Sattvaguna Purana, Tamoguna Purana, and Rajoguna Purana. So Tamoguna Purana will speak that Lord Shiva is supreme. Rajoguna Purana will say that Brahma is supreme, or Samar Devata is supreme. Sattvaguna Purana will speak that Lord Vishnu is supreme. And it is for goodness, passion, ignorance. So how to resolve this contradiction? That every Purana is speaking everything is supreme. So one of the rules of scriptures is Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. All can reveal us knowledge. All are same. Shruti and Nyaya is almost as Shruti. It's not almost, it is as good as Shruti. It is equal to Shruti, according to Vaishnavas, because it is coming from the Lord. And the Acharyas are compiling out based on their mundane, because Apaurushaya and coming in disciplic succession. So disciplic succession, Bhagavad Gita is coming, Bhagavatam is coming. Therefore, Smriti also is as good as Shruti. But Shankaracharya, who emphasized, who is an impersonalist, covered impersonalist, who stressed so much on Shruti, The whole scholarly world speaks about Shruti. They don't accept Shruti Nyaya. But Vedvas himself compiled all Puranas, and he gave a rule when other Purana is speaking about somebody's supremacy, we have to see the Sattva-guna Purana. And Sattva-guna Purana should be taken as final. And in lower Puranas also there is mention of Krishna and Vishnu, and that we can accept. But when lower Puranas speak about some other god, then we have to finally accept the Sattvic Purana as the final call. And the same Vedvas compiled Brahma Sutra, that is Vedanta Sutra. And that commentary was given by Shankaracharya. And there people think that Shankaracharya commentary is the only commentary, but even Vaishnavas also have given commentary. Ramanujacharya has also given Sri Bhashya. And then Govinda Bhashya is given by Baldev Vidyabhushan. Therefore, because Vaishnavas give it later, therefore only Shankaracharya's commentary is taken as final commentary. But actually, Vaishnavas also have written commentary. And after the Vedanta Sutra, Veda has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam when he was feeling dissatisfied, and on the order of his Guru Narad Muni. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam has the essence of all the Vedic literature, Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. Therefore, Bhagavatam can give us complete knowledge, which Ishopanishad is not able to directly reveal us, because it is a Rahasya Vidya, which is a secret knowledge revealed by the Guru to the disciple. Only who is qualified like a sannyasi can understand it over a period of time. But what about us? For us, seeing the fallen condition of people in Kali Yuga, Vedas compiled Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. So the same Upanishad comes in Bhagavatam. Where it comes in Bhagavatam? That is a big question. It comes in Bhagavatam. Where it comes in Bhagavatam? Madhvacharya writes here. Be carefully. In the commentary for the first mantra. By the mantras of Ishopanishad, hope all of you are able to see this font. I'll try to increase. By the mantras of Ishopanishad, Swayambha Manu praised the Yajna, the incarnation of Vishnu, who was the son of Acyuta. And here is telling, I offer respect certainly to my Guru, the Supreme Lord, by whom Brahma, Indra, Shiva, and other Devatas and Lakshmi as well sustain their knowledge. So basically, his commentary is like this. So, who spoke Ishopanishad and where? Lord Vishnu himself spoke Isha Upanishad to his grandfather, Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu had a daughter, Acyuta. He had no son. And therefore, Acyuta's son, Yajna, was adopted by Swayambhu Manu to carry on the legacy of taking care of the universe. And that time, fierce Rakshasa Swayambhu Manu attentively praised Yajna, his grandson, with mantras of Isha Upanishad. The shloka is also quoted here, Bhagavatam 8.110. Atmavashyam midam vishwam yat kincham jagatyam jagat tena taktena bunjita mahagrata kashdam. You can see it is coming in Bhagavatam. The Shruti mantra, it is Veda, 4 Vedas, Yajurveda. Ishavashyam it's coming. But in Bhagavatam, which is Nyaya, which is the ripened fruit of the Vedic literature, the same shloka, first mantra of Upanishad is coming there. What is the mantra? Atmavashyamidam vishwam yat kincham jagatyam jagat tena taktena bunjita mahagrata kashdam. This is what Madhvacharya is writing. And Acharyas can help us to understand Shruti very clearly. And see, Acharyas bring what? I don't think Shruti is the only thing. Because Madhvacharya came after Shankaracharya, who had established Shruti is everything. But Madhvacharya is making Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya, everything is equal. And therefore, Shruti is so complex and difficult to understand. Come to Smriti. And Smriti will try to focus on who is that Lord. And Yajna. And what happened? Swayambhu Manu was being chased by fierce Rakshasas, trying to kill him, trying to take control of his position. In that time, desiring to eat him, hearing these verses of Ishavashyam, Ishopanishad, Lord Vishnu, who appeared as Yajna, liberated him after killing the Rakshasas. Therefore, he killed the Rakshasas, could not be killed by others because they had got a boon by Shiva. And that they could not be killed anybody apart from Lord Vishnu. Therefore, he killed them and he delivered Swayambhu Manu. He gave liberation to Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu went back to Godhead. Yajna started ruling as Lord Vishnu himself became a Manu and continued the Manvantara. So Ishavashyam means fit to be dwelt in by the Lord. Therefore, I brought it Avashyam. Prabhupada is controlled, but Madhvacharya use it fit to be dwelt in by the Lord. Nothing moves without the presence of the Lord. Jagata means Prakriti. The whole world, whatever is within the Prakriti, is fit to be dwelt in by the Lord. One should enjoy that which is given Taktena by the Lord himself. He quotes another shloka, Sat Pravrta Asaktva Isha Vashamidam Jagat Pravritte Prakritim Gamyasmat Sat Prakrtishwaraha Tad Adina Pravritti Tattva Tad Iyam Sarvam Etat Tat Tad Dattenaiva Bhunjita Atyam Prayache Chayet. Because the world cannot function on its own, the Lord must dwell within it for it to function. Because he enters Prakriti, for it to function, he is called the Lord of the Prakriti. Because the functioning of on him, it is said to be belonging to him. Because till the time you have a key, till the time you don't enter the enter into in the key, it will not get on. Therefore, Lord, the material world. Therefore, Garbha is called Garbhadakshay Vishnu. Then the Jivatmas, along with 3 modes, become activated. So, whenever you read Ishopanishad or any Vedic statement, Bhanu Maharaj gives a commentary here. Our Madhvacharya tells that whenever you read Vedas, there are 2 sets of 4. Like the Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojan, similar to that. What are the 2 sets of 4? There is something called Anubandha, and there is something called as here it is mentioned 2 Anubandhas. What is that? Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojana. So here Madhvacharya writes the Vishay Abhidheya is Lord mercy of Vishnu. Yagya is Vishnu. Swayambhu Manu is in a crisis situation where the Rakshas are coming to kill him. So he is praying for mercy of Vishnu. That is Abhidheya. And then who is the Adhikari or who is the devotee who is offering this prayer? That is Swayambhu Manu. And what is the Sambandha? Vishnu and his greatness is a Sambandha. And what is the Prayojan? Liberation from this material world is the Prayojan. Because it is Shruti, therefore Madhvacharya is writing as liberation. Otherwise it is Prema Pamartha Mohan. For us, its Sambandha is our relation with the Lord. So here Sambandha is Lord Vishnu and his greatness. So Lord Vishnu is the owner, and how he is great. His knowledge about Lord Vishnu, that is Sambandha. And Abhidheya, mercy of Lord Vishnu. And Prayojan, liberation from this material world. And who is the Adhikari? So the 4 things are there. Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojana, Adhikari, Swayambhu Manu. This is first set of 4. The second set of 4 is, it is any Vedic mantra you recite, the Rishi has to be spoken, who is reciting it, or for whom it is being recited, who is reciting the mantra, a devotee or a Rishi. And second thing, for whom it is being recited. And third thing, the Vini Yoga, what purpose? And third thing, fourth thing, the meter, the Chanda. Chanda, Vini Yoga, the Rishi, and the Devata. Rishi is Swayambhu Manu. Devata is Yagya, Lord Vishnu. Vini Yoga, vary with each mantra, the purpose of the mantra, what it mentions. That is, it is mentioning the Isha Vasham, not the controller, who follows the Isha Vasham principle, who doesn't follow, inconceivable nature of the Lord. 18 mantras over you have given. So each mantra, the purpose of the Vinyoga is changing. The meter is also changing. First is Anushtupa Chanda. Later on, as you go again and again, it is Jagatiyar meter. So different meter chandas will come. So this set of 4 things is to be mentioned before you recite a Shruti or a Vedic mantra. So what are the set of 4? 4 Anumandas. One is Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojana, Adhikari. Another is Rishi, Devata, Viniyoga, and Chanda. So these are to be mentioned before recitation of any Vedic mantra. So with this, we will directly go now with whatever 10-15 minutes we are having. We will go to Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 1st chapter, 10th verse. And this was spoken by Yagya to Swayambhu Manu. And then the present way, how it is we are having, the way it is present, it was spoken by Dadyan, the son of Atharvana. Atharvana gave it to Dadyan. Dadyan is the name of a student, and Atharvana is the name of a father who happens to be Guru also. So he revealed this Upanishad to him, the Ras Vidya. Rahasya Vidya to give him realization of God. The present text, after the recitation by Swayambhu Manu to Yagya, it was repeated in the form of Shukla Yajurveda by Dadyan, the son of Atharvana. Atharvana Rishi gave it to Dadyan, his son. Yeah. So this chapter name is, the canto stands for Manvantara Avatar. So there are different Manvantaras, Manus for different Manvantaras. So when Manu is there is Devata, there is Saptarishis, there is Lord Vishnu, there is Indra, there are 8 directions, 8 Devatas who accompany. That kind of set is given in Bhagavatam. But the first Manu, Swayambhu Manu, the first 20 shlokas speaks about him, 8.1.20, and then the Gajendra Moksha will start from the second canto, second chapter. So here, if you see carefully, Atmavashyam idam vishwam yat kincham jagatam jagat. If you see carefully, Isha Vashyam, instead of Isha, it is coming Atma. And here Atma refers to super soul. Idam vishwam, Isha Vashyam idam sarvam. Here Atma Vashyam idam vishwam yat kincham jagatam jagat tena taktena bundita magrada kashashviddanam. Same. And Atma here refers to the super soul. Yes, someone can read the translation. Yes, Murari Prabhu can read. You need to unmute yourself.
Within this universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his super soul feature is present everywhere. Wherever there are animate or inanimate beings, therefore, one should accept only that which is allotted to him. One should not desire to infringe upon the property of others.
Yes.
Having described the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as transcendental, Swayambhuva Manu, for the instruction of the sons and the grandsons in his dynasty, he is now describing all the property of the universe as belonging to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manu's instructions are not only for his own sons and grandsons, but for all of human society. The word man, or in Sanskrit, Manusya, has been derived from the name Manu. For all members of human society are descendants of the original Manu. Manu is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 4.1, where the Lord says, Imam Vivasvate Yogan, Proktavan Aham Avyayan, Vivaswan Manave Praha, Manur Ikshvakave Pravit. I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu is in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. Swayambhu Manu and Vaivasvata Manu have similar duties. Vaivasvata Manu was born of the sun god Vivaswan, and his son was Ikshvaku, the king of the earth. Since Manu is understood to be the original father of humanity, human society should follow his instructions. Swayambhuva Manu instructs that whatever exists not only in the spiritual world, but even within this material world is a property of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present everywhere as a super consciousness. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13.3, Kshetrajnanam chapi Imam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. In every field, in other words, in every body, in other words, in everybody, the Supreme Lord is existing as the super soul. The individual soul is given a body in which to live and act according to the instructions of the Supreme Person. And therefore, the Supreme Person also exists within everybody. We should not think that we are independent. Rather, we should understand that we are allowed a certain portion of the total property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This understanding will lead to the perfect communism. Communists think in terms of their own nations, but the spiritual communism instructed here is not only nationwide but universal. Nothing belongs to any nation or any individual person. Everything belongs to Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the meaning of this verse. Atmavasya Atmavasyam idam Vishwam. Whatever exists within this universe is the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The modern communists think the modern communistic theory and also the idea of United Nations can be reformed, indeed rectified by the understanding that everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is not a creation of our intelligence. Rather, He has created us. Atmavasya idam Viswam. Isavasyam idam sarvam. Iso mantra 1. This universal communism can solve all the problems of the world. One should learn from the Vedic literature that one's body is also not the property of individual soul, but is given to the individual soul according to his karma. Karmana daiva netrena jantur dehopa pataye. The 84 lakh different bodily forms are machines given to the individual soul. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.61. Ishvara sarva bhutanam Suddeshu Arjuna tati Brahmanyan sarva bhutani yantraru dani mayaya. Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. O Arjuna, and is directing he is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. The Lord, as a supreme soul, sits in everyone's heart and observes the various desires of the individual soul. The Lord is so merciful that he gives the living entity the opportunity to enjoy varieties of desires in suitable bodies, which are nothing but machines. Entrarudani mayaya. These machines are manufactured by the material ingredients of external energy, and thus the living entity enjoys or suffers according to his desires. This opportunity is given by the super soul. Everything belongs to the Supreme, and therefore one should not usurp another's property. We have a tendency to manufacture many things, especially nowadays. We are building skyscrapers and developing other material facilities. We should know, however, that the ingredients of the skyscrapers and machines cannot be manufactured by anyone but the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. The whole world is nothing but a combination of 5 material elements. Tejo vari mridam yata vinimaya. A skyscraper is a transformation of earth, water, and fire. Earth and water are combined and burnt into bricks by fire, and a skyscraper is essentially a tall construction of bricks. Although the bricks may be manufactured by the man, the ingredients of the bricks are not. Of course, man as a manufacturer may accept a salary from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is stated here. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. Iso mantra 1. One may construct a big proprietary ship belongs to the person who has spent for the building.
You missed one line, Puji. One may come here.
One may construct a big skyscraper, but neither the constructor, the merchant, nor the worker can claim proprietorship. Proprietorship belongs to the person who has spent for the building. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has manufactured water, earth, air, fire, and the sky, and one use this and take salary. However, one cannot claim proprietorship. This is perfect communism. Our tendency to construct great buildings should be used only for constructing large and valuable temples in which to install the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then our desire for the construction will be fulfilled. Since all the property belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything should be offered to the Lord, and we should take only prasada. We should not fight among ourselves to take more than we need. As Narada said to Maharaja Yavad
You read the translation too.
Okay. One may claim proprietorship to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. But one who desires proprietorship over more than that must be considered a thief, and he deserves to be punished by the laws of nature. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.14.8. Of course, we need to be maintained in eating, sleeping, waiting, and defending. Ahara nitra bhaya maituna. But since the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, has provided these necessities of life for the birds and bees, why not for mankind? There is no need for economic development. Everything is provided. Therefore, one should understand that everything belongs to Krishna, and with this idea, one may take prasada. However, if one interferes with the allotments of others, he is the thief. He should not accept more than what we actually need. Therefore, if by chance we get an abundance of money, we should always consider that it belongs to Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, we are getting sufficient money, but we should never think that the money belongs to us. It belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and should be equally distributed to the workers, the devotees. No devotee should claim that any money or property belong to him. If one thinks that any portion of the property of this huge universe belongs to anyone, he is to be considered a thief and is punishable by the laws of nature. Daivihi esa guna mai mamamaya duratyaya. BG 7.14. No one can surpass the vigilance of the laws of nature, material nature, or hide his intentions from material nature. If human body unlawfully claims that the property of the universe either partially or wholly belongs to mankind, all of human society will be cursed as a society of thieves and will be punished by the laws of nature.
Hare Krishna. So this is what is being told here, reinforced. So I think you have got the section of ISKCON also Prabhupada is mentioning here, how Vishwasam principle can be applied in ISKCON. Was mentioning here, it should be equally divided. The money which we get is not ours, it's Lord's. It should be used for constructing temple and should be properly accounted for. Correct? So that is what is being spoken here. And also personal application also Prabhupada is writing here. So open book means surely from Prabhupada purport, and this is almost same mantra. So this Prabhupada has written this while in commentary of writing Bhagavatam first canto. So this is having much more than little bit different way and little much more information from the purport of invocation, mantra 1 of Ishopanishad. So now I will just conclude that it's already 8:30. So Manu is trying to murmur, he's trying to recite when everything is in Supreme Being stays awake. So he's trying to recite this mantra and he's offering his prayers. And while offering these prayers, he's offering these teachings to all the citizens. And meanwhile, what happens? He's doing the same thing. Lord can see always. You can read this section at your ease time if you have mantra. And he's saying he has no beginning, no end, no middle, nor does he has particular person, nation. Like Ishopanishad has 18 mantras. He is reciting from first mantra till 12 mantras. Now the next mantra is speaking about the Lord. Entire cosmic manifestation is from the body of the Lord. He's self-effulgent, unborn, no beginning, no end. But this is Smriti. And therefore it is glorifying Lord in a different way, directly. Therefore, to enable to people to reach stage of activities, saints first engage people in fruitive activities. For unless, okay, then the Dharma Artha Kama Moksha is speaking about that. Basically keeping Lord in the center. And then he speaks about the Supreme Personality of God is full of opulences by his own gain, yet he acts as maintainer and emeritor. In spite of acting in that way, is never touched by matter. Is never entangled. Hence, devotees who follow in his footsteps are also never entangled. They become free of karma bandhan. This is mantra 3. Mantra 2 of Ishopanishad is given in this 15th verse here. Work just like an ordinary human being, yet he does not desire to enjoy the fruits of work. So this is like mantra 4 and 5 of Ishopanishad. Atarpa achintya, inconceivable potency comes here. He is working like an ordinary man. The whole thing comes here. We'll come back to it. Mantra 4 and mantra 5 we recite. We'll come back here. And then Like this, when he's speaking, Sukadeva Goswami Swayambhu Manu was thus in trance, chanting the mantra of Vedic no instruction known as Upanishads. Here it comes here. Upon seeing him, the Rakshasa and Asuras began very hungry. Being very hungry, wanted to devour him. Therefore, they ran after him with great speed. And then what happens? This shloka comes. Tam stata vashitam vikshya yajna sarva gato hari yamai parivrato deve atva satri vishtapam. So he, along with companies of all demigods, Supreme Lord Vishnu, who sits in everybody's heart, appearing as Agyapati, observed that the Rakshasas and demons were going to devour Swayambhu Manu. Thus Lord, accompanied by his sons named the Yamas and by all the other demigods, killed the demon and Rakshasas. Then he took post of Indra and began to rule the heavenly kingdom. The various names of demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, and so on, are not personal names. They are names of different posts. In this regard, we understand Lord Vishnu sometimes becomes Brahma or Indra when there is no suitable person to occupy. Then second Manu comes, Swarochisa Manu. And Vaivashvata Manu is present Manu, who is the son of sun god. Our Manu is called as Vaivashvata Manu. So this is the Ishopanishad coming in Srimad Bhagavatam 8.11 to 8.120. Yajna is being praised by Swayambhu Manu, and Swayambhu Manu is reciting the same mantras, and it's directly there. Swayambhu Manu is offering it to Yajna, but in Shruti, it is not directly given. It's just coming up. Okay. Any questions? Already we have concluded all the close. Please understand it's already time up. And Hare Krishna. So this was the insight based on the Acharya's commentaries and Prabhupada purports in Ishopanishad and in Bhagavatam. So this is what Prabhupada writes us telling in the introduction. Prabhupada says we have to understand Vedas through Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That is what we are trying to understand. Likely if you read Ishopanishad, you don't know who is speaking, for whom it is speaking. But come to Bhagavatam, crest jewel of Vedic literature, Nigama Kalpataro, we understand what is happening. Okay? Hare Krishna. And that purport also has a lot of application points for your OBA, where you can take points from there. We'll conclude then. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll again meet. And one more thing, Ujjain Yatra, all of you are going. So we'll be missing on Friday. And I was not well. So we have missed 2 classes. So 3 classes we are learning late. So how to cover that? What are your inputs?
Prabhuji, on that note, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we might miss on next Friday. So most of us, lot of us will be in Ujjain Yatra.
Yes. So that's what I'm telling.
Yeah.
So that already we have missed 2 because and this is 3rd. So how to cover it? What are your insights? Okay, let's make it 1 more week.
Sure, Prabhuji. As you say, please plan and let us know.
Or you want that let's have on Wednesday, and then at least that Friday part is done. And anyway, 1 week is already extended. Anyways, if you not, we'll continue and just last 2 classes. I will just inform and go through that next teacher is ready.
Sure, Prabhuji. Wednesday also might be little tough, Prabhuji, because train is in the evening around 8:30, 8:45. So
what is it?
Sorry, Prabhu?
Wednesday it will be tough, no?
Yeah, Wednesday it will be tough, Prabhuji, because our train is in the evening.
Not going to Ujjain this coming Wednesday, tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow, yeah, if everybody is okay, then we can have it.
No, okay, no one will do one thing. We will cover it peacefully. We'll have it on Friday.
Saturdays, Prabhu?
Oh, Saturdays. You'll be having your satsang.
Sunday we have satsang, yeah.
Yes, no? No issues. We'll cover it peacefully.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Please start writing your OBS and CB. Start preparing and we'll conclude. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And today is Sanatana Goswami's Disappearance Day, Bhakti Karma Disappearance Day. And today is also Guru Purnima, because Sanatana Goswami was Sanatana Goswami. He was so well known in Vrindavan. He was like Baba. Yeah, okay, we will speak with Vrajvasis. Okay, how is your home? How is the son? How is the daughter? Has she got married? She not got married? So he used to roam all throughout the Vraja, speaking in that way. So he was so dear to Vrajavasis out of 6 Goswamis. And therefore, Vrajavasis, they celebrate Guru Vas Purnima in his separation today. Today there will be almost like more than 10 lakhs parikrama in Govardhan, something like that. So therefore, Sanatana Goswami disciplines is called as Guru Vas Purnima. Hare Krishna. So we can pray to him that we can enter Ishopanishad in the spirit of learning it, understanding it, and applying it, and coming close to Lord's lotus feet. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.